Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, March 19, 2021. Come Monday, the nation should expect more restrictions in an attempt to reduce COVID-19 infections, which now average at a daily positivity rate of 30%. The warning came last evening from Prime Minister Andrew Holness during his contribution in the 2021-22 budget debate in the House of Representatives. Mr. Holness said the decision to strengthen the measures comes against the background of COVID-19 hospitalizations, now exceeding the number of beds available by as much as 15% in some instances. Bed capacity has increased from 15 in March 2020, when Jamaica's first confirmed case was reported, to 600 currently.
I will be announcing a new set of stronger measures designed to protect our healthcare system and save lives in the short term, which eventually protects and preserves our economy and livelihoods in the long term.
Consequently, Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie also on Thursday tabled amendments to the Disaster Risk Management Act. Among the amendments is the implementation of a new ticketing system for the enforcement of infection prevention and control measures. Mr. Holness said government is prepared to have the bill reviewed by a joint select committee on the weekend for it to be debated and passed next week.
This would make the new measures more effective if we have this amendment in place.
The current provisions expire on March 22. Also effective next week, individuals 75 years and older will be able to register and make an appointment for their COVID-19 vaccination. This as the Ministry of Health and Wellness signed a contract with ITEL BPO Smart Solutions to manage the vaccination, registration and appointment process, which will be made available via telephone. The signing took place yesterday at the Ministry's Emergency Operating Center in New Kingston.
This registration option will become available on Monday, March 22nd, 2021. So if you're 75 years old and over, if your mother is 75 years old and over, your father, your uncle, your brother, and you want to help them, if you don't think they're listening, we ask the media to help us with that. Come Monday, you call this number and you will get, on the other end, a response.
Those within the age cohort may call the 888-1LOVE number to register and make an appointment to receive their vaccination at a convenient site across the country. Dr. Tufton noted that the operations of the BPO support will be guided by the World Health Organization's protocols for managing such a process.
And we will have checks and balances to validate the data that gives us the information to assess, to ensure that we protect the public's health and the confidentiality issues. All of that will be based on standard protocols around immunization and standard protocols around patient rights and for their personal information.
Meanwhile, Jamaica's public debt has remained flat during the past year despite major fall in revenue and increase in expenditure as a result of COVID-19. At the start of the 2020-21 fiscal year, cash reserves stood at approximately $90 billion, which allowed the government at the onset of the pandemic to finance a 3.5% fiscal deficit. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the country has also been able to maintain its highest credit rating in 20 years from Standard & Poor's and in 14 years from Fitch, while many other nations have suffered downgrades. He adds that maintaining the country's macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability in the face of the most severe health and economic crisis the world has experienced in nearly 100 years did not happen by chance.
We were able to do this because our buffers that we had built up over prudent fiscal management over a number of years.
Students preparing to sit the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate (CSEC) examinations and the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination (CAPE now have free access to the OneX platform until June 30. This is part of efforts by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information to support students in grades 11, 12, and 13 who are sitting these exams. The OneX platform gives students access to over 40,000 exam-style questions and solutions. Students can also access e-book past papers and videos of syllabuses with accompanying quizzes. The Education Ministry says each subject is also assigned skill gap diagnostic tests, which are designed to identify gaps between current and desired abilities. For more information or queries, call 876-613-9198. You may also send a WhatsApp to 876-809-4197 or an email to onexsupport@oneononelms.com. Students are set to benefit from over $4 billion in scholarships and tuition assistance under the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information's 2021-2022 recurring budget. Of that amount, $4.2 billion in grants will fund tuition for secondary level students, $47 million at the tertiary level, and $7.3 million at the primary level. Meanwhile, $365 million will go towards the Teachers Education Mathematics Scholarship Program. A further $170 million has been allocated to provide financial assistance to students at the secondary and tertiary levels. This includes $133 million in stipends for students registered under the Jamaica Values and Attitudes Program, JAMVAT. Through JAMVAT, students at the tertiary level are engaged in 200 hours of community service to offset 30% of their tuition fees. And finally, persons in relationships who believe they are experiencing intimate partner violence are being encouraged to access screening from the Victim Services Division, VSD, in the Ministry of Justice. Executive Director Osborne Bailey told JIS News that screening seeks to assess whether a person's relationship is abusive and to what extent.
We take you through the screening process and will assist you in the counseling process. So if you don't like what's going on now, you're uncertain about what is being said to you, how it's being said, and what is happening, and you're not sure, because you're so in love, you're not sure that it is violent, you can go through the screening process. Call VSD, we take you through it online and be able to provide you with requisite counseling and referral to the relevant authorities, police, court, for the necessary action to be taken.
According to Mr. Bailey, between January 2020 and February 2021, the division saw 884 clients who were victims of domestic violence. Mr. Bailey is encouraging both males and females who may be experiencing intimate partner violence to call the VSD at 876-946-0663 or 888-VICTIMS. That's 888-842-8467. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.